In the heart of Venice, where gondolas glided through narrow canals and laughter echoed under arched bridges, there was a legend about the Bridge of Secrets. It was said that lovers who exchanged whispers on its worn stones under a full moon would forever share an unbreakable bond. But for some, the bridge held more than romance. It was a place where secrets lingered, etched into the night. Alessia Moretti, a Venetian tour guide with a voice that danced like the waves, knew the legend well. She spoke of it daily, weaving the bridge's story into her tours. Yet, Alessia had never stood on the bridge under a full moon. She didn't believe in love, not after what had happened 3 years ago. 3 years felt like a lifetime, but the memory of Matteo Fontana still haunted her. He had been her world, a painter whose passion for life matched her own. They had spent countless evenings beneath the Venetian stars, dreaming of a future together. But Matteo disappeared without a word, leaving Alessia with a heart full of questions and a silence she could never forgive. One crisp evening, as the city prepared for Carnevale, Alessia's tour concluded near the Bridge of Secrets. The crowd dispersed, leaving her alone in the soft glow of lanterns. She leaned on the bridge's stone railing, staring into the rippling waters below. The full moon cast its silvery light, and for the first time, Alessia allowed herself to feel the weight of her longing. "I didn't think I'd find you here," a voice said, breaking the silence. Alessia turned sharply, her breath catching. Standing in the shadows was Matteo, his once carefree face now lined with sorrow. He held a sketchbook in his hands, its edges frayed. "Matteo," she whispered, her voice trembling with disbelief. "Why are you here?" "To tell you the truth," he said, stepping closer. "Something I should have done long ago." They walked through the quiet streets, the sounds of revelry distant but persistent. Matteo's words came hesitantly, as though each one was a weight he struggled to lift. "I never wanted to leave," he began. "But I had no choice. My father fell ill, and our family's gallery was on the brink of collapse. I went back to Florence to save it, thinking I'd return to you as soon as I could. But you didn't," Alessia said, her voice sharp with pain. "You vanished. You left me with nothing." Matteo stopped, turning to face her. "I wrote to you. Letters, so many letters. I begged for your forgiveness, for your understanding. But I never heard back." Alessia's brow furrowed. "I never received them." Silence hung between them, heavy with realization. Matteo's hand tightened around the sketchbook. "I came back to Venice, hoping to find you, but I was too late. They told me you'd moved on." "I tried to," Alessia admitted, "but some part of me always waited for you." The night deepened as they returned to the bridge. Matteo opened his sketchbook, revealing pages filled with drawings of Alessia. Her face, her smile, her eyes captured in strokes of charcoal and ink. At the bottom of each sketch was a date, marking every day he had thought of her. "You are my muse," he said. "You still are." Tears welled in Alessia's eyes. She reached out, tracing the lines of one drawing. "You kept these all this time?" Matteo nodded. "Every day I hoped I'd see you again. To tell you the truth, to ask for another chance." The bells of St. Mark's Basilica tolled midnight as the full moon bathed the Bridge of Secrets in silver light. Matteo took Alessia's hands, his touch tentative but warm. "Do you believe in the legend?" he asked. Alessia hesitated, her heart warring with her mind. But as she looked into his eyes, she saw the man she had loved, and still loved, standing before her, offering his heart once more. "I want to believe," she said softly. They leaned in, their foreheads touching as they whispered their wishes into the night. The city seemed to hold its breath as their words mingled with the breeze, carried away by the promise of the stars. In the days that followed, Alessia and Matteo began to rebuild what had been broken. They wandered the canals, rediscovering the magic of Venice and each other. Matteo's paintings flourished, his work infused with the hope and love he had reclaimed. Alessia, too, found new joy in her tours, her stories now tinged with the beauty of second chances. The Bridge of Secrets became their haven, a place where their love had been both tested and renewed. And on every full moon, they returned to whisper their vows, their hearts forever entwined beneath the city's eternal sky. The legend of the bridge lived on, but for Alessia and Matteo, it was no longer a tale of myth. It was their story, written in shadows and sealed with the light of love.